Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, JJ and Julie. Julie is not happy that JJ was not there hanging out with Gabby and everything like that, spending time with her, given their history. Now, I heard about the whole um Gabby planning some sort of she did something where she rigged Julie's heart pacemaker or whatever, right? Like this was during her villain era. What I did not know is that there was one point where Gabby actually pushed Julie down a flight of steps to break her neck. I was like, wow, okay. Now I did allegedly hear that, I heard allegedly, I don't know how true this is, that, Julie said something that I don't want to sit there and say it's full blown racist, but it's very borderline, not cool. Now, granted, this was years ago before people really started taking notice and being like, yeah, you shouldn't say that. Hold her cheek on. So I'm not going to sit there and say it's racist full blown, but it's definitely an out of pocket comment. Doesn't excuse her trying to break her neck. I'm just saying. Um, well, JJ reminds her, hey, listen, she didn't have to do this. She went above and beyond to sit there and really help us try to get Abby's body. And seeing how she had history with Abby in general says a lot. Now, I know it's mostly for also revenge and stuff like that, put Clyde away, but she did sit there and help out, and that should not sit there and be discounted. Now, Julie sits there and tells JJ about the stolen necklace, and of course, Doug the Third, if that's even his real name, just shows up. So Julie introduced Doug and JJ and everything. And when they start talking more about the necklace, Doug is like, I gotta get some air. Or it's like 20 degrees outside. You like really? But JJ said he's gonna show him around and everything like that. So that's cool. JJ's like, did you call the cops? And Julie's like, no, because I don't want to sit there and turn to my brother, and plus he has just as much right to the necklace as I do. So it's more about the sentimental value than just necessarily the actual necklace, the money itself. Um, After Holly leaves Tate, she goes Christmas shopping. She runs into Leo. And Leo kind of acts like a Debbie Downer in a sense, where he's like, listen, I know everything is running really nice right now, but just be careful, just enjoy it while it lasts. I'm like, why would you say that? I get that you, well, had some really shitty relationships. I get that. But like, why don't you just let her enjoy her relationship that she has? Instead of sitting there putting doubt and being like, oh, I know that you want to get caught up in the mystery and the romance and stuff, but just look out for those dark clouds ahead. Thanks, Leo. That's real helpful. I really appreciate that during the holiday times. Now, given that he's spending holidays by himself and he bought Christmas gifts for himself, I'm like, you're not exactly the person that her or anybody else in Salem should be taking relationship advice from. Aaron or A Rod shows up and tells Tate that he's leaving to go see his mom and stuff like that with Kat. So he's going to be gone for most of the summer. Um, I'm not really going to miss him, so I'm kind of just like, okay. So they say thank you to each other and goodbyes. And then Sophia comes in, and Sophia, if you saw the previews, drops a bomb on Tate and tells him that she is pregnant. So, yep, high school pregnancy. So that's what happens. Um, and of course, that's gonna just mess up the whole relationship. Not that I really care, but it is what it is. Now, Javi, who this is another person I generally don't care about. I'm not even going to sit there and go through my complaints that I have about him, but he does get debriefed by Gabby about, their time, getting Clyde and trying to get Abby's body back. And long story short, it seems like she's denying her feelings for JJ, um, downplaying a lot of stuff, and even at they're supposed to go out for drinks and stuff like that. So Javi grabs Gabby's phone and texts JJ. There's a point where Gabby's waiting, and Gabby's kind of nervous at this point now, like, oh, he's most likely not going to text me back. I know that feeling. Okay, waiting for that response back could, yeah, I know that feeling. But she does get a response back, and JJ is also looking at Julie. He doesn't sit there and say what it is because he knows how Julie feels about um Gabby. They have a very bad history. We'll just sit there and say, Jesus Christ, she actually tried to push Julie down the stairs. Huh. Anyway, when Leo gets back to his hotel, because no one actually has apartments nowadays, only soap operas. He gets a knock on the door, and it's Doug, and Doug wants Leo to fence the jewels. Yeah, that's another person who I'm actually surprised by, that JJ does not have a little bit more. There's not a little more sus of this dude that just came into town, claiming to be related to the Hortons. Now, Chad and Kat. Now, Chad is not there. He hears a noise and he thinks it's Abigail for some odd reason. And of course, it's disappointing because it's Kat. But he is a lot more friendlier to her. And Kat says that she's going to be leaving town for a little bit or longer, who knows. Also tells him that Mark is back. He's out of jail, but he'll be going. He's on bail right now. He's going to be going to jail for 18 months. Says that she's leaving to go see her mom and stuff. And, Chad is actually more pleasant. He's like, listen, wish her the best. I'm happy that y'all are alive and safe and stuff like that. But I guess while I'm sitting there watching the scene, my biggest thing, and this is for a lot of people as well that I've seen in my live streams, is that this is somewhat disappointing, right? Because they did all this. Maybe Abby's alive and everything like that. They went through this whole thing, and it just turns out that Kat's going to be gone, and they're not going to get a recast of Abby. Now, I don't know if that's the case yet, but if that's the general conclusion, that we're not going to be getting a new Abby, that Kat is going to be gone, and they don't get to, even though they keep saying, um, find Abby's body and lay it to rest, then this whole story just seems somewhat kind of pointless. Like, they did all this, and if this is where it ends, then they definitely dropped the ball big time. Yeah, let me see if there's anything else. Because another part of me is just sitting there looking at these scenes, they did that whole thing, I think, as of yesterday, the day before, when it was sending momentum, personal items of Abby. This is what Julie was also talking about with JJ. They put a lot of her stuff, a lot of her personal stuff in the time capsule. And part of me is like, listen, if we're not going to do anything with Abby at this point, Chad constantly going to the grave and talking about Abby and his whole relationship that they tried with Chad and Stefan just didn't work out because you still snipped them one and lost. Like, if they're not going to do anything with Abby at this point, then they just kind of need to let this whole thing rest. I don't think that they will. I'm hoping that they're going to do something more with Abby and maybe just have a recast, because if we're not going to do anything with Abby, just find a way to let this thing move forward, Because at this point, it's just kind of stupid. It's like, what are they doing with Chad? What are they doing with Chad? I did think it was kind of dumb that they put Chad with Abby's cousin. I thought that that was really stupid. But like, y'all need to either do something with the Chad character, or let him go, or let him find a way to move forward. You know, maybe with Kat. I know people will sit there and say, "Well, I don't like it because of what Kat done to Chad and the family and stuff like that." But as bad as what she wound up doing, she didn't do it because she was being malice. And again, I just want to sit there and remind people that when Mark came in with the pew pew, Kat got in the way. She didn't have to do that. So, you know, I know people want to sit there and focus on all the bad stuff that she wound up doing, but it's like no one is sitting there focusing on some of the good stuff that she wound up doing. I don't know. I don't know where the story is going, but I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang around with it. Obviously I'm gonna review it and stuff, but like I'm gonna see where it goes. But it's not going anywhere that I'm liking so far. That's the most disappointing part. Also, the fact that Sophia is pregnant or could be pregnant is also disappointing because, well, as you know, I don't really care for the character that much. I really don't. I don't dislike her as much as I did in the beginning, but I also don't really care. But it seems like we're just kind of stuck with the teens part. And that's another thing. When I saw the trailer and I knew that she was pregnant, I was like, man, we're going to have to see more Holly, more Tate, more Sophia. And I get that they're trying to, I don't know if they're trying to do the whole blast from the past thing with Chloe and Philip and Sean and Belle. I wasn't around for that era, but if that's what they're trying to do, this shit is not impressing me so far. So anyway, that's much all I got. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I feel like this is more of a rant than a review, but you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying.